Hey everyone, it's your host here, Emir. I'm a co-founder of HockeyStack. We allow you to understand what your users are doing on your website and your highest converting marketing channels with no code. In this episode, I'm talking with Andy, who is the founder of Postaga. Enjoy. Hey Andrew, how are you today? And can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure, happy to. So my name's Andy. I'm a co-founder at Postaga, and I have a pretty big background in digital marketing. I many years ago ran a digital marketing agency that I grew and was acquired, and today I run Postaga, which is marketing related software that helps people connect with the right businesses and audiences. So, for example, it helps people find relevant blogs or podcasters to connect with to be a guest on their podcast or get their business featured on a blog, or for link building purposes to get other blogs to link to them, or for also sales outreach to get other potential customers.
Yeah, I have been using Postaga for a while now, and I absolutely love it. So you have an agency background. So
Yep.
how did it start? And you are also a lawyer, am I right, Andy?
Yeah, so I got into agencies because when I was studying the law, m- any of the businesses, the law firms that I wanted to work at, all had bad websites. And a friend of mine was a very good, very talented web designer, and we kind of started a business together to
Mhm.
do better web design and marketing. And I spoke lawyer language, and that helped us market to that audience. And a lot of my education in digital marketing was kind of on the job, and so I learned a lot about SEO and paid search as I went.
Mm-hmm. How did the idea of Postaga come to you?
Yeah,
Was it a specific pain point that you had while reaching out to the agencies?
yeah, absolutely. So when in running an agency and trying to help our clients out, which are lawyers, which is a very competitive space, in wanting to outcompete other law firms and be like the number one law firm that shows up in any given city, you really need to really focus on the wide SEO strategy. And what we are seeing is building links was the most effective, but to
Hmm.
really build links in a scalable way that you could do as an agency for many clients, was not really many good software applications that could help us do that. So that's kind of one of the reasons that we built Postaga, and also because we wanted to get better publicity and get better visibility in search. So that's kind of why we built it.
Hmm. How is it going right now? Is everything okay? You
Yeah,
received
everything is good.
funding, right?
So yeah, we recently joined the Tinyseed Startup Accelerator, which has been awesome. There's a lot of really smart, talented people in our startup cohort who just it's been great because I could ping people who have a lot of deep expertise in areas that I am not as familiar with, and so I've been getting a lot of good insights into just there are things that I don't know that I don't know that I quickly like learn. Oh, I didn't know about this, or like just even just getting recommendations on pieces of software to that could help with certain things has been really great so far. So yeah, the mentorship has definitely been
Mhm.
like the best part.
People mention that Tinyseed is best for bootstrappers. So
Mhm.
why did you choose to get funding from them?
So part of what we were not as interested in funding just like for dollars.
Mhm.
We My co-founder and I, we previously sold an agency. We had some money and we've invested that in our startup, and we weren't just looking for money for the sake of money just to help us so we could throw it at developers or anything like that. We are confident in our abilities. We've grown businesses before, and really the main thing that we wanted out of a partner would be their knowledge and expertise. And so with Tinyseed in particular, that was really for us the big selling point. We've
Mhm.
been approached by a lot of investors over the last year and change since we launched on Product Hunt,
Mhm.
and for any of the opportunities, really what we've been interested in is, aside from cash, which I can go to a lot of places today and say, hey, I've got this startup, you want to write me a check or something like that. And a bunch of people would be interested in doing that. But I was really interested uh, in a partner that would be able to provide more
Mhm.
technical knowledge value and stuff like that. So that's kind of how we ended up here.
Yeah, a lot of VCs are approaching HockeyStack right now too, but
Yeah.
we don't want to work with them because they don't really offer mentorship, and we don't really
Mhm.
need that much money right now. So yeah,
Mhm.
I really it makes sense. So I know that you are building a community on Facebook right now.
Mhm.
How is that going, and like what was the hardest things about building that community around SEO, link building, and digital marketing?
Yeah. Well, with Facebook communities, it's interesting because you are dealing with the Facebook algorithm no matter what, and you have to play to that. And so I was actually recommended to build a Facebook community from a friend of mine who has an agency, and he has a very large Facebook community. It's in Toronto, Canada, and they have like 7,000 members, and like every week they're getting hundreds of new members. And about a year or so ago, he was telling me that it's like a great way to get people to interact with you. People are on Facebook always, at least a lot of people are on, and so it can help you connect with your customers in a different way, but also provide value and share knowledge. And you can get your customers to talk to each other, whereas they otherwise might not. Like
Mhm.
if I tweet something or if I email something through a newsletter, it's a very much a one-to-one communication. But if I'm posting a question or sharing something that people can comment on or interact with, it gets a lot more engagement, and there's a lot more knowledge sharing going on. And I think that provides a lot more value than anything
Mhm.
else.
Yeah,
But
you're not only posting about digital marketing SEO, you're also posting some jokes, memes, and they're getting a lot of engagement. Yeah.
yeah, I that's just I've enjoyed that. And like, so like if I see SEO related or digital marketing related memes, I share those. And that it seems like that's like everyone's favorite thing. So I don't know, at some point I'm afraid that my Facebook community is going to devolve into just a meme account, but we'll see.
Yeah. So you're like Postaga is all about SEO, link building, and increasing your online presence. So like
Mhm.
the number one thing that SaaS businesses and businesses in general are
Mhm.
struggling with is understanding like which blog posts contribute to the most highest highest quality leads, which campaign
Mhm.
leads to highest quality leads, etc. That's the number one thing that I'm seeing, and I get
Mhm.
with our prospects, our customers, and other founders.
Mhm.
Do you have any tips around that? How should like other founders measure marketing attribution?
Mhm. So there that's a
It's
really interesting question, because like that's like, if anyone could replicate that and say like, all right, which like let's say you do, like, maybe you can know, well, you can know which of your content is driving the most revenue in terms of, if you can see through your funnel, maybe
Mhm.
using some software like HockeyStack, and seeing which of your content is driving signups. But with SEO in particular, with improving your overall visibility, you're going to have some content that isn't going to necessarily drive revenue today, but is going to be effective for the long term.
Mhm.
A friend of mine who I met through this accelerator is
Mhm.
very incredibly skilled in SEO, and he has like numbers attributed to all of his content. So he's like, he knows like this blog post brings in this amount of money each month, and this blog post brings in this amount of money. But even so, it's not just focusing on that specific content, because there's so much more to it. Like I might write, like if you're a marketing agency, you might write a very specific article, like comparing yourself to a competitor if you're in a niche, or you might be like, have an article like how to choose a web designer, and then your post is obviously a little bit self-serving to get to people to hire you or to reach out to you, and you could attribute that to a certain amount of revenue. But you might have more broader content that's geared towards getting people in your funnel, getting people to sign up for your newsletter, and they may not sign up for your services or buy your product after reading that one piece of content. But
Mhm.
even so, they'll get into your ecosystem, and over time, they they might end up buying your product. So I think even so, like no matter what, it's important to have a big picture look at your content and not just focusing on like this article here that is that you can attribute to bringing in a certain amount of revenue.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. So do you have like, what are the top three softwares other than HockeyStack and Postaga, of course, that you are using for Postaga right now?
um, I like that. Let's see. So one piece of software that I've been using a lot lately, I've been plugging this wherever I can, is called SavvyCal. It's a calendaring app similar to Calendly or any of the millions of other calendaring apps out there. But why I use it in particular is that it lets the user overlay their calendar onto yours to find a common time that works. So
Oh.
instead of me having to have like two windows open with the calendar on one and my calendar on the other, it
Mhm.
just will overlay my calendar and say, like, "Oh, right, here's your next free time where that works for everyone."
Mhm.
So that makes my life easier. I like that a lot.
Mhm.
Um, Other stuff, I I guess another one is Chatlio, which is a live chat app that integrates with Slack. Um, I've used a few other, like over the years, a lot of other live chat apps, but it lets me do my like have our team manage our help desk live chat from our Slack software, so I don't even need to leave it
Mhm.
or have to have a separate thing open.
Mhm.
And a third one, let's go with Active Campaign, which I've been using for our marketing automation stuff.
Nice. Um, so you're the product of the day at Product Hunt, am I right?
Mhm. Yes.
Do you have any tips around Product Hunt? Because a lot of founders are launching often on Product Hunt. We launched last week
Yeah.
a new product. So how should founders
Mhm.
approach Product Hunt?
So for Product Hunt, it I think it's important to reverse engineer Product Hunt to some degree to see what other like what you see as like most of the top ones of the day or the week. Try and find the ones, especially if they're like in your category, try and find the commonalities. What is it that they're doing differently when their launches? Like there's certain like trends that we notice after a while. Like, okay, so we don't want to just have like screenshots of our app. We want to have like annotated images that like will show part of our app, but also have text alongside it in the image itself to show people what it is they're looking at. We also like wanted to have a good, concise explainer video that really simply told people like what it is that we do. Uh, Having a good like initial comment was important from the makers. Having a good, this is actually kind of surprising, or maybe not that surprising, but the little GIF image icon that appears alongside your product name, it was important that it like be eye catching because we had something that like where like the first iteration of it like was like flashing in your face like get more leads, get more links, stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it stayed up for several hours, but like at I remember like 11 a.m. our local time, they changed it to a static image of like our logo because I guess it was too flashy,
Mhm.
and we noticed that our upvotes were slowing down. So we had to quickly resubmit a new GIF that didn't bother the moderators or whatever. Just like something little like that. And then once we did that, our the amount of upvotes that we got like climbed up again. Uh, but from the very beginning, like we knew that we wanted Product Hunt to be like the cornerstone of our launch, and so we spent a lot of time
Mhm.
from like reading articles on people who have done it successfully to really spending time just in Product Hunt, uh, talking with other. Actually, another one was we talked with a lot of founders who did Product Hunt launches.
Mhm.
We asked them for feedback. We asked them for like who do you know that also has done Product Hunt well? Who could you recommend that we talk to? Because we really wanted to make sure that we'd have a good successful launch, and
Mhm,
so that was super helpful.
mhm, mhm. Was it worth it? Was it launch worth it? Did you get many signups or free trials?
Yeah, so in over the course of the week of our product hot launch, we got about 1,000 signups,
Oh,
which was crazy. Like we had like a couple hundred going into it, and yeah, from that we had. I was like, I hope we get 250 over the week. That'll be great. I'll call that a success. But we
mhm,
got like 300 something the day of, and then over the course of the rest of the week, it was just crazy busy. It was for a free sign up, so that
mhm,
didn't all translate to revenue, but it ended up us having to upgrade our active campaign tier.
mhm.
Yes, yeah, but
Yeah, I'm very curious about one thing about your onboarding. So when
mm,
we first signed up for a free trial,
yeah.
I saw that you allow people to like upgrade to the plan for just $10, I guess. When
Hmm.
it, like actually the price of that plan is $99.
Hmm.
Are you testing that right now, or how like is it working well, or is it a growth hack for you?
So we are testing it right now.
Mhm,
Hopefully, the next time we talk, I will have an answer for you whether this is the right answer or not. But what we're finding is that the more people use it, the more like wins they get,
mhm,
because part of the challenge is for our platform, which helps you do cold outreach for link building and digital PR and stuff. Um, with outreach, it's very much a numbers game, and so the more outreach you do, the more wins you can get. Um, but you have to like put in some time and effort into it, and so we want to make sure that like with our like 1 month heavily discounted trial, you can really get into the platform.
mhm. Yeah. Um, so like Postaga is a mix of a cold outreach tool, an
Mm,
SEO tool, and a link building tool, kind of like, and also like
mm.
it has a lead generation tool inside.
Yeah.
So what's your goal with Postaga in the next 2 years? Are you trying to make it a more of a CRM tool or an outreach
Mm.
tool, or what's your plan with it?
So I I have to imagine that where we're at in 2 years is going to be different than than where we are today. In part because like right now, Postaga has a lot of like a variety of use cases. So like people are using it for sales, they're using it for uh, PR, and they're also using it for link building.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine realistically that at some point we're going to say, okay, this is the market that we want to specifically target and go after, and this is where the biggest opportunities are for us, and we're going to probably focus on a specific market. But right now, we are, being, I guess, a relatively younger company.
Mhm.
We're trying to determine what the best path forward is.
So you're testing different use cases and trying to
Mhm.
find out which one is the best for you so that you can position your Postaga around that use case and just focus on
Mhm.
that. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So my last question is, what was in like biggest failure with Postaga, and what did you learn from that?
Oh, probably related. So related to our product hunt launch, I feel this personally. So when we launched on Product Hunt, we did not yet have a paid tier, and it took us a few more months before we got all of that set. And so uh, like the conversion rate from like the free to the paid was not as high as I wanted it to be. And so in hindsight, I'm like, okay, maybe we should have we should have waited a little bit longer, had our paid tier all set up, and with that product on launch, had the paid product ready to go. Because a few months had passed from when we had the product on launch to adding the paid tiers, and I think that was just too much time.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So if you're going to launch on Product Hunt, be sure to add a paid plan to your products page.
Yeah, well, I guess part of it was also like we were like, I hope people will use this, and I hope it's like it was kind of for validating and to see that it was worth our continued time and effort. But I guess that turned out to be right. But knowing, I guess there was no way to know at the time, but knowing what we know now, if
Yeah.
I could go back and do it over again.
Really? Like, are you planning on launching on Product Hunt again with Postaga?
We have some, yes, actually, we have some newer features that we think would probably be good for our product hunt launch that is on our list.
Okay, looking forward to it. So I
Yeah,
will be willing to Postaga if anyone needs a tool for link building, SEO, and outreach. You can check out Postaga. It's really great. We're using it too. Andy, thank you very much for your time today. I really enjoyed our conversation. I think it will be really actionable and insightful for other founders. So thank you very much for accepting my offer and taking your time today.
awesome. Thanks, Amir. Happy to be here.